have a super exciting guest with me today on the DOYO Live Marketing Show. I know we're usually coming to you on Fridays, but we have a special guest, our keynote CEO of TrackMaven and the recent author of the Creative Curve, Mr. Allen Gannett. Allen, thank you so much for dropping by today. I really appreciate it. And we've got a little bit of a freeze. Allen? Of course, whenever you go live, there's always going to be some interesting thing to present, which is fine. I'm sure Allen will be able to unfreeze here in just a moment. Are we live? Can you see us? Oh, gosh. So I'm going to show Allen. Hopefully the strength of the signal increases, and Allen will be able to get on in, and hopefully we'll be able to get this Facebook Live. And if not, we're going to have to record it somehow or other and go from there. Allen, you're on fast Wi-Fi. Me too. Gosh, I don't know exactly what's happening right now. This is not good. So Allen can't hear us. This is not going technology, right? Exactly, Allen, I hear you. Allen could hear us. I don't think, Allen, can you say something? Maybe we could hear you. And that's just not the case right now. And I don't know exactly how to fix this. I know that he could hear us, and I want to be mindful of everybody's time. Let's see here. So we're doing the technology dance, and Allen's in there live. Oh, gosh. I'm moving him around the screen a little bit and can't quite figure out why. I think he's going to drop off and drop back in. And there we go. Allen?
Hey, I tried reconnecting. Did that work?
It works perfect now, brother. Thank you so much.
Oh, my God. All I did was I hit stop and start. That's all I did.
Yeah, no worries, man. So I'm super pumped that you're in, and it gives our people a few minutes to get in. But in any case, thanks for dropping by today. What I want to talk about, a couple things. First of all, how's the office reconstruction coming?
Oh, it's like real life Legos. It's so fun. It's like a very self-actualizing experience as an entrepreneur. You're like, this should go there, and then everyone's like, please stop talking. You're crazy. I'm like, this is true.
well, I saw that yesterday on Instagram stories, so that's great. We'll look forward to continue to see that, and best of luck along the way.
By the way, you couldn't hear me, but when you first did your introduction, I said that you are by far, like, I'm usually the bubbly one on video, and you are like, I feel like you're on a whole nother level. Like, I need to get on your level.
No, you're being very humble right now, because Allen Asks has a huge following on LinkedIn, and obviously you've moved over to the Facebook platform. So that's something I really want to tackle with you today. Let's build a little context. Let's talk about your background for a second and get people introduced in the DOYO Live community to you and in your career, the progression in marketing and in entrepreneurialism, more importantly, and then obviously what you're doing with TrackMaven and the book.
Yeah, of course. So I've been doing entrepreneurship stuff for a very long time. So my first sort of digital business was in fourth grade. I started a school like media company. And so I've always been sort of doing my own thing. And then in 2012, I started TrackMaven after sort of bouncing around a few different roles as I started a performance marketing company. I was CMO of a startup. And what I realized was that as marketers, we're sort of going through this interesting moment where we really still want to be creatives. We want to tell stories. We want to do all this stuff. On the other side, we also are realizing that data is so important. And there's so much out there that we can tap into if we really are able to glean the patterns from the data. And so the whole idea for TrackMaven was, let us hire the data geeks and build a tech platform, and you can focus on being creative and we'll be your data people. And so we have our own tech platform. We suck in lots and lots of marketing data. We work with a lot of big brands. We've worked with NBA, Marriott, GE, like a lot of big sort of iconic brands. And I like to think that we're like a data therapist or a data coach, helping you understand like what's important, what's not important. And then starting about, the company's about 5.5 years old now.
Allen, we lost you again there for a moment, and don't know. Let's see here. We lost you here for just a second, so hopefully we'll catch up on our end. I'm going to ping one of our viewers and see how they show. Allen, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why we froze for just a moment. So we lost you with Data Geeks, and
so yes, I was saying. So we work as the data geeks for a lot of these big brands, and the thing that we realized was that we're talking to these brands, and about a few years ago, they started telling me that, hey, I don't actually think I'm that creative. And this to me was shocking. These people who are literally some of the biggest brands in the world are like, well, I'm not sure if I'm really that creative. And I started, digging into this, and I realized there was a sort of very discouraged base of creatives in marketing where people just, felt like, hey, I wasn't born Mozart, Pablo Picasso, I wasn't born Elon Musk. That's not me. And I'm not going to be that person. And so I started talking about at marketing conferences that when you look at the stories of creative geniuses, what you actually find is that there's a huge amount of hard work, there's a huge amount of intentionality and thoughtfulness. In fact, it's quite hard. And that story really resonated with marketers. And so I started working on a book proposal, which eventually morphed into more broadly all creatives. And the book became much more scientific, actually. And the whole book is basically this idea that science tells us that creativity can be learned, and I want to figure out how. And so I interviewed about 25 living creative geniuses, and these are, again, billionaires, Oscar winners, these are big people. And I figured out what are the things they all did to enhance their creativity, and I break down the 4 things, and I explain the science of why they work. And so it's meant to be a very sort of actionable but yet fun book. Did I lose you?
So Allen, in that vein, has the LinkedIn effort been something that came out of the book, or did LinkedIn spawn the idea for doing the book?
No, yeah, the book has been going on for years, right? And LinkedIn is just since last summer. And so what was interesting, though, was in doing the book, one thing that I talk about in the book is how important timing is, and how you need to be able to create things that are new and novel, but also familiar. And so when LinkedIn launched video, I sort of recognized that, okay, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. What are some things that people like on other platforms that would work well on LinkedIn? And so for me, doing short interviews seemed like a really good fit for the platform. And so I started doing them last summer, and it was really early in LinkedIn's process, and they weren't, there wasn't a ton of creators yet. And so there's a lot of white space. And that concept around timing is a really important part that I learned about in the book, which is that creativity is not just about the skill of creating. Because if you created a replica of the Mona Lisa today, we wouldn't say that's creative. We would say that's skillful, but it's not creative. And so being viewed as creative is actually really important, that you develop the right idea at the right time. And that second part is really, really important.
So, and we cut out for we just cut out then for just a brief moment. But if you can you still hear me, Allen?
Yeah, I hear you great. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. So, in elaborating on the creative curve, then it's more than just it's obviously creative business process as well as the coming up with the next great idea, but it's the execution of that idea too, right?
Yeah, so execution's important, but I think we overweight it. So I think when we talk about creativity, we often talk about like, oh, this painter's really talented, right? But what's interesting is when you look at the studies around what makes someone viewed as creative over time, over their career, actually things like self-promotion and marketing are actually hugely important for that. It actually drives a huge amount of whether or not we view people as creative. So think about Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol had tons and tons of assistants who would actually create the art. He would often like call into factories that would produce screen prints from him and sort of like describe vaguely what he wanted. Like, let's get like, a dollar bill painted in purple. And these things are things that we wouldn't necessarily say are like tons and tons of skill that he's applying, but they're certainly creative. And so the actual execution and the actual perception of creativity are actually two different things. And that's really fascinating. That tells us a lot as marketers. That's not just about, what we create, but it's also about how we distribute it.
So as far as from a conference perspective goes, have you been out now? I think I've seen you presenting about a week or so ago at another conference. Have you started to expand that now horizon from a presentation perspective with the advent of the book? Obviously, it's very admirable, by the way. I need to go back to that. A book creates it takes a ton of discipline to sit down and go through the research and sit down and write every day to produce a book. So that's a huge compliment to produce that. But what has the conference circuit looked like for you up to this point?
Yeah, so I started doing the book talk recently, and it's like super fun because it's a topic where I literally spent 3 years on, and so like I've absorbed a lot of knowledge on it. And so it's really fun to hear people's questions, to hear what people like really respond to, react to. And I think it's fun because the talk is very actionable. And so it's sort of, in 30 minutes, you can get a bunch of actionable takeaways for how to improve your creativity without having to read, a 220-page book, which is always great.
Right.
And so it's been super fulfilling and exciting. And it's a lot of fun also like meeting different types of creatives and seeing how broadly applicable the concepts in the book are.
So we got a little bit of a pause or lag. Allen, so I guess the other question that I have, let's see here, we'll bring you back in. Hopefully you can hear me still. Have you ever been to Youngstown, Ohio?
No, I want to go to Youngstown, Ohio. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's interesting. I moved back to the area about 5 years ago. We have, and I know that you've got a background in a tech incubator. We've got a B2B software tech incubator in Youngstown, Ohio that's been around for about 15 years, and the largest concentration of 3D printing equipment in R&D in the United States, steeped heavily in our manufacturing history. So, it's a little more progressive, I think, and obviously DOYO Live is helping to try to serve that purpose of to evolve. And your book actually is on pre-order right now at Amazon, and Dr. Mike Sevilla, another breakout session leader at DOYO, has posted that in the notes. But is that right? So your book comes out in June officially?
June 12th, and there's all sorts of good information at thecreativecurve.com. You can read the preface, watch the book trailer, read some early reviews. And so, yeah, June 12th, it's almost here.
That is awesome, man. We are so looking forward to you coming to Youngstown, Ohio on August 1st and 2nd. for DOYO Live. It's a real honor to have you. I know that you are on this meteoric rise in the world of marketing and very well known, and we appreciate you making the time to do this today. And obviously a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we always end the DOYO Live Marketing Show with at least 10 rapid fire questions, and I think we got at least 7 good ones.
Love it.
What's on your desk?
Right now there's my wallet, a microphone, AirPods, and that's it. It's pretty clean.
Are you an iPhone or Android user?
iPhone, of course.
And what's on your home screen on your phone?
My dog.
What kind of dog you got?
A Corgi. He's very cute. You can follow him on Twitter, @Maven the Corgi. He likes Twitter followers.
I love that. We had a speaker a few years ago, had a bigger following with the dog than the cookie brand, which was interesting. Hey, dogs and kids play, right, on social media.
It's great.
All right, this is where the questions get very difficult. What superhero do you relate to the most?
Relate to? Oh my God. What's the dorky one that has the show? Deadpool.
Okay. Now, Youngstown's a huge pizza city. It's like religion here, and you travel extensively throughout the United States.
And I'm from New Jersey, so I know pizza.
And you know pizza. Best pizza city in the country.
Oh, what do I think the best pizza city in the country is? Asbury Park, New Jersey, of course. Easy.
All right, so we're going to put that to the test in August when you come to Youngstown. We got DJs that play music throughout the day to make things interactive. You got a walk-up song. You're going up on stage to give a keynote. What is it?
Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. Easy. Come on.
Now, this is an easy one, but other people struggle with it. What's one book you recommend that everybody reads?
Well, I have a bias, but other than my book, there's a book coming out the week before mine that I've gotten the chance to read early called Dream Teams by Shane Snow, which is really, really good. It's all about how diverse teams outperform homogenous teams and how to build the diverse team. It's really good.
All right, here we go. And I think this is it. Last question. Best piece of business advice that you either get or you give? And we still got Allen. He's dropping back by. He's not giving. Here we go. You're back. Last question. Best piece of business advice that you either give or you get?
The best practices are the best practices for a reason. So don't try and reinvent every wheel.
It's good advice, Allen. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you dropping by again once today. You can get Allen's new book. Get the TrackMaven too. They've got a ton of great content on the web. I was looking today about all the definitions that we use in marketing that were super smart, and we use those. So I love that. I love your content strategy. It's very informative. We're sharing as much of it as we possibly can to educate. That's what we stand for. And then obviously get the book. It drops in June, but you can pre-order it now and then get your tickets for DOYO because you're going to get a chance to meet Allen and his team live in person.
Can't wait. Youngstown.
You got it, brother. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys. Have a good one.
See you guys.